Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fernando Alonso Career Mode. Episode number 10, round number 10 of the Formula 1 World Championship brings us to the Red Bull Ring. Oh god, we've lost, haven't we? Although, we have had a very, very strong string of results. And that's not something I can say 10 times fast. So without further ado, at this sprint weekend, let's head into qualifying. And so, the thirst for qualifying has been quenched for the first time this weekend. As we head into Sector 3, qualifying was a decent spectacle, not too shabby. However, through the final sector, we find some great momentum through the last corner. Lose a little bit on the exit, but across the line now, it will be, for the race at least, P8 for the Austrian Grand Prix. And I will be honest, pace hasn't been the greatest at all. Oh, Jesus Christ, we've so lost. So let's ignore Verstappen's Calpol-infused romp and look at where we are. P8 for the Austrian Grand Prix, and it doesn't seem like it seems like doom and gloom, to be honest with you, but we are not too far behind the cars that are ahead of us, which is good news. We know our race pace is a lot better as well. But it's sprint qualifying. No time to dawdle, ladies and gentlemen, as we head through Turn 1 on the Saturday morning. As we go through it, oh, for God's sake! However, as we head into the end of the lap, not all hope is lost. We do clean up our act, and despite going wide at the final corner, we go across the line, and it will be, for the sprint race at least, P9. Which is not too bad at all. Very consistent. A P8 and a P9. We are very consistent indeed. Consistently meh. It's bad news, though. Max Verstappen's absolutely stomping on the entire world this weekend. Well, it looks like it could be a full house for the Dutchman. Let's see if we can disrupt the rhythm, though. It's time for the sprint. No more dilly-dallying, ladies and gents. 5 red lights for the sprint. Lights out, and away we go. Everyone on the soft tyres. Absolutely no disparity, but there isn't a start talent. Straight away past Piastri. Round the outside of Russell. Trying to look for an avenue on Norris and Sainz as well. Nothing opening up for the time being, although Slipstream and ERS being deployed means nothing. Anyway, into turn number 3, the outside line looks tasty. It's extremely tasty. Norris and Sainz right round the outside of the pair of them. Carlando has been sent for a hot dog or a schnitzel, considering we're in Austria. That's probably more culturally appropriate. Into the next corner, though, we're comfortably in P5. And now the chase can begin. There's only 6 laps of sprint race to do, and we have our crosshairs firmly set on the cars ahead. We have target lock. Let's munch these fellows. Well, it hasn't exactly gone to plan, I'll be honest. We're looking behind us instead of in front of us, as Carlos Sainz is all over the back of us. But their Achilles heel and our gain is the turn 3 train. We are absolutely off and running. The car on rails through that particular section, and we can chug along towards the back of Hamilton. We gained about 3 tenths in that particular corner, which is fantastic news for Verstappen, though. Well, he's in another continent, to be honest with you, but luckily for us, we've done enough to get DRS on this lap, which just keeps us in the fight with the cars ahead of us. As, oh God, Leclerc and Perez fighting away. Red Bull trying to make it a 1-2 at their home track, technically speaking. Perez runs rings round the Monegasque man. Charles Leclerc has been absolutely rinsed through turn number 3. That will be the prime overtaking spot at this track for us. I have no doubt about it. You saw what we could do on lap number 1. We have to try and use that to propel us forwards even more. But at the moment, look through these left-handers. They're absolutely soaring away. Oh dear. No Montoya puns here, as through the last 2 corners we ignore. That was esports line, for those of you that don't know. DRS wide open as we survey the cars in front of us. And yes, it's great news. Leclerc and Perez fighting away. Hamilton's been caught in the crossfire. Switchback season is deployed. Hamilton's been dispatched off. Leclerc is surely next. Slightly boxed in, but the gap opens up. Perez blazes through. We're going to play this smartly. Stay behind. Down the inside of Sergio Perez. That's 3 positions in the space of 2 corners. And it's vintage Fernando Alonso annihilating the competition. Through the right-hander we go on lap number 5 of this race. And finally, it's all coming together. We are outside of a second of Sergio Perez. Where's this pace come from? Even through the left-handers, we're finding a new lease of life. Resuscitating our attempts to gain points, well, as much points as we can. It's a damage limitation weekend, I'll be honest with you. Have you seen the hacks ahead? Verstappen might be on cocaine, but we are on a runaway train through the final corner, and it's great news. But we are out of DRS. And that's the best news we could have hoped for, and that means we should secure this without any trouble. Indeed we shall, and Leclerc's actually got Perez. Fantastic news for the Ferrari driver. Verstappen will win the sprint race. For us, though, P2 in the sprint. What a sensational comeback. The Spaniard has brought the sauce here in the Austrian hills. What a showing at the sprint race. It's driver of the day for Fernando Alonso. What a start to the weekend that is. Damage limitation part 1 completed then. I also must say, after doing blackout racing over Austria, which I'll upload a video for very soon, I'm looking at my driving and I actually might be sick. In fact, I'm going to be sick right now. A colonoscopy is more efficient than my driving style there. But even so, on the road, we've managed to claim P2. And that is about as good as it gets, considering that man. But Fernando Alonso, with a substantial championship lead still at this point anyway, that is the best result he could have hoped for. And we're going to hopefully drag him to even better results as we now head into race day. Time to execute part 2 of the plan then. 5 red lights for the race. Lights out and away we go almost instantaneously. Luckily our finger was firmly on the trigger. Piastri's covering the inside, as is Russell. Say goodnight, Irene, to those two. The outside line was calling. It was gaping. It was... Oh God, I'm so sorry. Sainz and Perez up ahead. There's no time to waste. So let's send it like Saturn 5. Down the inside of both of them. Easily shoving Perez and shouldering him off to the outside. And just like that, Mr. Fernando Alonso. Take a bow. He might need a Zimmer frame, but he knows game. Let's put it that way. Now we just have to stay within range of Sir Lewis Hamilton up ahead. And the setup's costing me a little bit. There's understeer everywhere. But Perez and Sainz have done me a huge favour. Both of them fighting away meticulously. And it's given us so much space. We're so relaxed here in P4. We can just keep within the coattails of Hamilton and suck up the slipstream going forward. You know what? Alonso's a bit of a zesty boy, I've just figured out. He's deploying his flaps. He's sucking up Hamilton's slipstream. He's devouring his diffuser. I mean, the man is actually a safeguarding hazard as we head through this straight. Oh yeah, it's lap 6. I forgot to mention. Yeah, this race hasn't been very interesting. Although, it's about to get more interesting. We've been using Hamilton as a bit of a mule, really, to get our pace and make sure we stay ahead of the cars behind. But now's the time to move on ahead. Easily sweeping past as we go down the DRS straight. Just about the car pinching into the apex. I felt a massive, massive haul of understeer through every single corner in this car. Again, probably partially owing to the setup that I have, and also the fact I wasn't driving very well. And also because... Oh, I can't sugarcoat it. The car's a bit shit. No matter. We're trying to deploy our pace anyway, see where that can propel us to, if possible. Although, it's not really doing wonders for us at the moment as we go wide again. It's lucky I don't have strict track limits on, because I would have about, well, 15 million seconds worth of penalties, but we'll ignore that. What I can't ignore is the fact Hamilton has absolutely finessed us while we thought we had the pace on him. The answer is no way, Jose, says Sir Lewis, which I find quite offensive. But unfortunately for us, Sir Lewis Hamilton makes us look like a heifer lump. Easily breezes past us through into P3 once again here, but we're going to persevere with this method. But we get a great exit. What a switchback we've just got. And again, Hamilton's mistake going into turn 3 is just going to bring us the just reward. That's through again into the podium positions we go. We cannot afford to fight too much though, as we head on to lap number 8 now, and as you can see, the fighting has indeed been curtailed. Well, it's hardly happening because Hamilton has gazumped us, and then he proceeds to get to the apex at a speed that I can do faster in a Ford Focus, which almost loses me my front wing. But the good thing is, the gap between us and Leclerc is slowly but surely closing in, which is good news, and we are going to slowly but surely reel in the big Monegasque fish, which is probably quite tasty. Although Alonso, being the zesty boy he is, we shouldn't give him that idea. But with nothing to do, into the pits we go. Yes, that's right. Nothing has happened this race. It's been incredibly dull and tiresome. But into the pit row with an optimal turn-in. Out goes Leclerc. Let's see where we filter out. The Aston Martin boys have done wonders. Out ahead of Lewis Hamilton. What a job from the pit crew. Take a bow, ladies and gentlemen. Out into the lane we go, and out onto the track we eventually end up, straightening the car as quickly as possible. Currently sitting in P13, but we know that could all change in a heartbeat. And speaking of which, here we are onto the end of lap number 10. Bottas deciding to pit, and oh dear. Oh dear. We've gone wider than the Thames into that corner, but it's luckily something that I can ignore. DRS has been given to us though, from Mr. Bottas. And so we don't have to stare at his rear end anymore, although, if Alonso sees that cake, he's gonna eat it. The gap between us and Leclerc though, now only 1.3 seconds. And with soft tyres, surely there's a job to do here. Yes, Hamilton has DRS. We're slightly pulling him along here. We're the horse in this horse and cart formation. But the more we do this, the quicker we close up to Charles up ahead. Verstappen with the fastest lap. And we could beat that here. 2 green sectors across the... We haven't got the fastest lap. However, it's good news, because we have DRS on Charles Leclerc up ahead. And this is where we really come into our own here. Hamilton and ourselves getting well and truly in the fight, as there's yellow flags up ahead, which means, well, we can't pass Leclerc anyway. But it's good to know that we do have the pace on the Ferrari. Oh, there's the graveyard of Stroll. But no one cares. So we carry on, ploughing on like a combine harvester as we head into turn number 4, technically, even though it's turn 3, because that left-hander just isn't a corner. But underneath the Rolex sponsorship, time not on the side of the Monegasque man up ahead of us. Jacques Leclerc has sniffed blood in the water before, but now he's leaving behind copious amounts of it that we are feasting on behind. And that just means, while he's got the pace on the mediums for now, the DRS train he's created is pulling us away from Russell, from Perez behind. And Sainz is now behind both McLarens. What on earth has gone on there? But anyway, DRS again being deployed. We are so much closer to Leclerc than we were before. And surely there is a big, big chance on the horizon, should we choose to try and take it, as in towards turn number 3 we go. And we're sending Leclerc into a defensive move. The outside line was calling briefly, but now, surely, after he's compromised his line, we can use this opportunity to drive past easily into P2. And on lap number 13, while it's unlucky for some, Fernando Alonso is reaping the rewards of his perseverance, of his dedication, of the DRS train. We've had to wait a little while to gain the big places in this race after the first lap, but we've weathered the storm, gritted our teeth, and we've ground down and eaten that horse. P2 here on lap number 13. Oh, cock on a crumble. That is not a sight I wanted to see. Hamilton's not only passed Leclerc, he's passed me as well. Hamilton with the 2-in-1. He seems to be getting used to that in his career as of late. But now we've got to try and displace him once again. Although with the gap he's pulled out, resistance is futile. So we're going to play it smart again. We're going to save our battery. Fuel isn't an issue, actually. We're almost on lap up on that, so that's good news. But we're going to use our smarts, use our cunning and our old foxy wiles to make sure that Leclerc can't get past us. And Hamilton is in a very compromised position at the end. Although Leclerc's come in like a freight train, trying to go round the outside. We say no thank you, monsieur. shut the door, he waves his white flag, and we are remaining very, very safe indeed for the rest of this lap. I have no doubt at all. But this is the game plan, as you can see. Not using much battery, if any battery, to be honest with you. We know we've got the pace now in the corners, and we know we've got the confidence and the grip to stay within range of Hamilton up ahead. And this gives us the prime opportunity to save our battery for when we go for that last lap lunching at the end of this race. Not yet, though. We're not even close to the end of this race. We've still got quite a way to go. Lap number 16. We go slightly wide, though, into the left-hander. Touch the gravel. That's going to compromise us. And Leclerc's seen his opportunity to go round the outside. We're going to defend as hard as we can. And oh, dear. I can't even defend myself. That was borderline third-degree murder. I'll be honest. I thought I had more grip. The answer, I had no grip at all. The FIA forgot to swap out their guide dogs, though. No penalties for us, and it's pure push, push, push to the end. Lap number 18, and this is the moment we've been waiting for. We have DRS, we have the opportunity, and we've got to calculate this. We've got to play this in a very calculated manner, should I say. We're going to go for it on Hamilton. Surely we are. Send him into a defensive move. Use the outside line to make sure we get the cutback. And that's worked perfectly. Hamilton has been left extremely vulnerable. DRS open, ERS being deployed, the Energizer Bunny's screaming, but we're shrieking with joy! P2 at the Austrian Grand Prix! Fernando Alonso, he's bloody done it again! As he's done so many times in his career. He's played it so intelligently. He's calculated the moves to perfection. And now all we need to do is get through these last few corners of the Austrian Grand Prix track. Not before Hamilton has one more chance. Round the outside, we just defend it. And that's it, surely. Verstappen wins the Grand Prix, but it's the best damage limitation. It's P2 at the Austrian Grand Prix. What a way to keep the form going. We haven't been off the podium a single time this season, bar one race at the Australian Grand Prix. Alonso is on the march. Driver of the day.
Well, they are celebrating in Spielberg, a deserving winner of the Austrian Grand Prix. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they've secured here.
Well, we did it. We did exactly everything we needed to do this weekend, and we ended up with P2, but the man on top has been invincible. And that is a statement as we head into the next few races of this season. Max Verstappen won the sprint race, fastest lap in the Grand Prix, and the win in the Grand Prix. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was a Grand Slam. No one could touch the Dutchman today, which I think he'd find borderline illegal. But as we drink 7-Up free, it's not P3, because I thought that would rhyme, but it's P2 at the Austrian Grand Prix. 12.1 seconds was the gap. Oh, no. Anyway, P2 for us then, and we're going to ignore Verstappen. It's damage limitation. We did everything we could, which is great news. Hamilton with his first podium of the season, so congratulations to him. It's good momentum as we head into Britain next time out. Leclerc can still be happy with the result, but, however, Sergio Perez slightly losing ground. But it's momentum for Max Verstappen that he's going to carry on forwards. And that really is an ominous marker that he's set. Well, before my sleep is infused with nightmares of Max Verstappen, let's have a look at the drivers' standings, because it's not all as bad as it seems. We still remain P1 in the standings, 56 points. Separates us and Verstappen. Of course, the luck, he hasn't had the rub of the green this season in many ways, but even so, catapults his way into second and begins his assault on the top of the standings. His conquest to retain his championship very much on the march. Perez drops down to P3. Leclerc catching up to him slowly but surely. Sainz not even in the 100-point bracket yet. No idea what happened to him this race. Just didn't work out for him. Hamilton catching up to him though. And momentum really is going the 7-time champion's way at the moment. Again, Russell caught in that McLaren sandwich. Gasly again getting a solitary point. Mr. Consistent as ever. However, everyone else, well, the positions really haven't changed that much, to be honest with you. But the gaps certainly are coming tumbling down. Constructor standings then, Red Bull obviously leading. I don't think that's a shock to anyone. But second place, it gets very interesting indeed. Mostly because of us. We now only have 7 points between us and Ferrari in the Constructors standings. And that's quite unbelievable. 5 wins for us this season. We've got all the podiums and fastest laps you can pretty much imagine. And it's paid off handsomely because, my God, we are right on the coattails of Ferrari. And that horse had better start sweating. It's getting close to being tranquilized, I'm telling you right now. Mercedes finally stealing a march on McLaren somewhat. Alpine in a very lonely P6. Otherwise, no teams have moved positions at all. With the British Grand Prix coming up, though, what sort of surprises will it have in store? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. Thank you all very much for watching round number 10 of the Fernando Alonso Career Mode. And can I just say how nice it is to be back with this particular series. I'm aiming to be a bit more consistent with it now. At least that's the plan. But if you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, more consistent content coming your way very, very soon. But until the next video, until the next round of the Fernando Alonso Career Mode, once again, I thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.